Pride is everywhere, even in a kiss. So why do you think I don't know when you're lying? Know when you're trying to hide how you feel from me. You hate it when I stare. You say you can't resist. So why do you keep your secrets alive? You need to let them die. Confess all your sins to me. My eyes are like a lie machine. I know you try to hide from me. I don't know why you lie to me. I wish you would confide in me. I tried. My eyes are like a lie machine. I know you try to hide from me. I don't know why you lie to me. I think you need to let go of your pride. Be the one who always hurts my feelings. I don't want to be with you if you keep on deceiving me with all these things you say. You know I don't believe them. Every time I let you in, you leave me bruised and bleeding. If you really love me, girl, then look into my eyes. Tell me all the things you told me that were really lies. You keep looking to the left and checking on your phone. What you think that says to me? You don't really care for me. You're the only one to make it right. I don't really know what else to say. Now you really want to make it right. I don't wanna make a huge mistake. My eyes are like a lie machine. I know you try to hide from me. I don't know why you lie to me. I wish you would confide in me. I tried. My eyes are like a lie machine. I know you try to hide from me. I don't know why you lie to me. I think you need to let go of your pride. My eyes are like a lie machine. I know you try to hide from me. I don't know why you lie to me. I wish you would confide in me. I tried. My eyes are like a lie machine. I know you try to hide from me. I don't know why you lie to me. I think you need to let go of your pride. see. I need you come with me. Something is telling me that you feel the way I do. I want you close to me. My heart is telling me I hate the fact that I love you. I feel blue, and you know I love you. I always think about you, baby. I've been going crazy 'cause I'm missing you. Can't you see we were meant to be, baby? I wanna be with you, baby. Oh, baby, can't you see? I need you now. Can't you see we were meant to be, baby? I wanna be with you, baby. Oh, baby, can't you see? I need you now. I need you to come with me. Something is telling me that you feel the way I do. I want you close to me. My heart is telling me I hate the fact that I love you. I feel good, and you know I love you. I always think about you, baby. I've been going crazy 'cause I'm missing you. Can't you see we were meant to be, baby? I wanna be with you, baby. Oh, baby, can't you see? I need you now. Can't you see we were meant to be, baby? I wanna be with you, baby. Oh, baby, can't you see? I need you now. We were meant to be, baby. I wanna be with you, baby. Oh, baby, can't you see? I need you now. Can't you see? We were meant to be, baby. I wanna be with you, baby. Oh, baby, can't you see? I need you now.
I know you've been waiting. Let's drive to the West Coast, Hollywood and LA. Feel love on the way. There's no time for waiting. I know where to go. I know. Down the West Coast, through New Mexico, Nevada. Oh, down the West Coast, Colorado, California. Ooh, down the West Coast, yeah. Through New Mexico, Nevada. Oh, down the West Coast. I know you've been waiting. Let's try
God is everywhere, even in a kiss. So why do you think I don't know when you're lying? Know when you're trying to hide how you feel from me. You hate it when I stare. You say you can't resist. So why do you keep your secrets alive? You need to let them die. Confess all your sins to me. My eyes are like a lie machine. I know you try to hide from me. I don't know why you lie to me. I wish you would confide in me. I tried. My eyes are like a lie machine. I know you try to hide from me. I don't know why you lie to me. I think you need to let go of your pride. You be the one who always hurt my feelings. I don't want to be with you if you keep on deceiving me with all these things you say. You know I don't believe them. Every time I let you in, you leave me bruised and bleeding. If you really love me, girl, then look into my eyes. Tell me all the things you told me that were really lies. You keep looking to the left and checking on your phone, but you think that says to me you don't really care for me. You're the only one to make it right. I don't really know what else to say. Do you really want to make it right? I don't wanna make a huge mistake. My eyes are like a time machine. I know you try to hide from me. I don't know why you lie to me. I wish you would confide in me. I tried. My eyes are like a time machine. I know you try to hide from me. I don't know why you lie to me. I think you need to let go of your pride. My eyes are like a time machine. I know you try to hide from me. I don't know why you lie to me. I wish you would confide in me. I tried. My eyes are like a time machine. I know you try to hide from me. I don't know why you lie to me. I think you need to let go of your pride.
I need you to come with me. Something is telling me that you feel the way I do. I want you close to me. My heart is telling me. I hate the fact that I love you. I feel blue. And you know I love with you. I always think about you, baby. I've been going crazy cause I'm missing you. Can't you see we were meant to be, baby? I wanna be with you, baby. Oh, baby, can't you see? I need you now. Can't you see we were meant to be, baby? I wanna be with you, baby. Oh, baby, can't you see? I need you now. that you feel the way I do. I want you close to me. My heart is telling me I hate the fact that I love you. I feel good, and you know I'm in love with you. I always think about you, baby. I've been going crazy 'cause I'm missing you. Can't you see we were meant to be, baby? I wanna be with you, baby. Oh, baby, can't you see? I need you now. Can't you see we were meant to be, baby? I wanna be with you, baby. Oh, baby, can't you see? I need you now. Can't you see we were meant to be, baby? I wanna be with you, baby. Oh, baby, can't you see? I need you now. Can't you see we were meant to be, baby? I wanna be with you, baby. Oh, baby, can't you see? I need you now.
Take me for a ride. I know you've been waiting. Let's drive to the West Coast, Hollywood and LA. Feel love on the way. There's no time for waiting. I know where to go. I know. Down the West Coast, through New Mexico, Nevada. Oh, down the West Coast, Colorado, California. Ooh, down the West Coast, yeah. Through New Mexico, Nevada. Oh, down the West Coast.
everywhere, even in a kiss. So why do you think I don't know when you're lying? Know when you're trying to hide how you feel from me. You hate it when I stare. You say you can't resist. So why do you keep your secrets alive? You need to let them die. Confess all your sins to me. My eyes are like the lie machine. I know you try to hide from me. I don't know why you lie to me. I wish you would confide in me. I tried. My eyes are like the lie machine. I know you try to hide from me. I don't know why you lie to me. I think you need to let go of your pride. You be the one who always hurts my feelings. I don't want to be with you if you keep on deceiving me with all these things you say. You know I don't believe them. Every time I let you in, you leave me bruised and bleeding. If you really love me, girl, then look into my eyes. Tell me all the things you told me that were really lies. You keep looking to the left and checking on your phone, but you think that says to me you don't really care for me. You're the only one to make it right. I don't really know what else to say. Now you really want to make it right. I don't wanna make a huge mistake. My eyes are like a lie machine. I know you try to hide from me. I don't know why you lie to me. I wish you would confide in me. I tried. My eyes are like a lie machine. I know you try to hide from me. I don't know why you lie to me. I think you need to let go of your pride. My eyes are like a lie machine. I know you try to hide from me. I don't know why you lie to me. I wish you would confide in me. I tried. My eyes are like a lie machine. I know you try to hide from me. I don't know why you lie to me. I think you need to let go of your pride.
Hey, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all our viewers and participants from around the globe. My name is Petra, and I'm the lead of the Agricultural Livelihoods portfolio at the Foundation. I'm also your host for today and for the upcoming days. I'd like to share a picture with you, which sort of sparked one of the key moments that sparked my interest about the importance of smallholder farmers and equitable and sustainable agri-food systems. I believe that you can see a picture here of me standing in the field. This was a few years back in a partner learning, not in a partner learning event, but in a field visit to one of our partners, where I met Ruth Kinoti. Ruth Kinoti is a tremendous and wonderful, inspiring social entrepreneur in Kenya, and she learned me about the importance of sustainable agri-food systems, especially for smallholder farmers. So welcome here to this exciting event where we bring together all our partners. This is the first ever virtual partner learning event of the IKEA Foundation. The aim of the event is to build connections and celebrate togetherness. The Agricultural Livelihoods portfolio at the IKEA Foundation aims to transform agri-food systems in East Africa and in India. Now let that sink in. I'm just mentioning this in one single sentence, but what we're talking about is a truly gigantic task. And we know what needs to be addressed, but how to do that is still a big challenge. So the question is how to do that. And I think what is most important is that we all stay massively optimistic, action-oriented, and all work together. The realization that agri-food systems need to change is already growing, and the momentum is picking up. We see great initiatives this year. For instance, the UN Food System Summit, which is about food, which is the first time ever that this is going to be held. But also in the COP26, the importance of agri-food systems and land use is high on the agenda. We know that many of you are actively participating in these events or are contributing with publications, meetings and gatherings to show the fruits of your hard work. For this event, we are bringing together all our partners that share our vision, our goals, and our values, and try to collectively pool our knowledge and our expertise together. So I'm really excited about this. And that's why the theme for this event is also Better Together. We want you to get to know us better, but we also want you to get each other much better. And we hope that by doing so, this will spark new collaborations, and this will also be the kickoff of a series of learning opportunities where we continue to learn and share experience and knowledge with each other. We know that there's a big challenge ahead, so we need to continue to build a strong base of support. And we could not put this event together without your help. And therefore, we'd like to thank you for all your support, for offering your collaboration, for offering your questions, and giving us all the information in the partner book. And we believe that this event will not only make us and you stronger in your individual actions, but also in our collective strategy. So a few words on the strategy, on the structure. We will get to the strategy later, on the structure of the event. So over the course of the next few days, we will actually follow, let's say, an agricultural cycle of events. So we will start with sowing the seeds of inspirations tomorrow, where we will look at the future and try to dream of what we want to see. We will also discuss the important concepts of our strategy. On day 3, we will be continuing to grow the understanding and insights and learn from our failures. And we actually start cross-pollinating each other with ideas, suggestions, and lessons. On the last day, we will start even working more together and starting harvesting initiatives and moments for collaboration so that we can all start working together on our common goals. I want to move to a little word of housekeeping because we have a few simple housekeeping rules. We will be meeting today and all the coming days on Hopin, which is an online platform. We understand that this may be new to some of you, so we try to guide you through this online platform as easy as possible. And it would be great if we can make this as interactive as possible. So in the right side, you will see a chat and a poll. So when we have a question for a poll, or if you want to ask questions, please do so in this chat and this poll. And on the left side, on this side of the screen, I guess, you will see the navigation of Hopin. So we'll lead you through the navigation when we need to move to a session or to change screens. Our team will be the help desk in these days. So if you have any questions about the content or on the platform, they will be happy to help you out. So please put your questions in the chat. During the event, we also have a visualizer, Michiel van der Pol. That's a Dutch name. It may be hard to pronounce, so we can also call him Michael. He will be working mostly backstage to put the main points of what we have discussed during the day in a visual graphic. He just made a visual for today. I know that you're seeing that at this moment. The topic for today is preparing the common ground. And this is mostly about getting to know each other. And we will also give you insights on the strategy of the IKEA Foundation and our portfolio, the Agricultural Livelihoods portfolio. But before we do so, I'd like to introduce you to our CEO, Per Heggenes. Good morning, Per, or good afternoon for you.
Hi, Petra. Nice to see you.
Welcome to our Agricultural Livelihoods Partner Learning event, the first ever virtual learning event from the IKEA Foundation. Per, we know that you are Norwegian and that today is an important celebration for you, as in Norway you're celebrating Constitution Day. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Of course. Oh, thank you, Petra. I'm very happy to be with you today, but I'm sorry I can't be together with you.
Is it possible that you are muted? We can't hear you. It seems that Per doesn't know whether he's audible.
Can you hear me now?
There's always hiccups in this. This is a live event, and we're having a problem now that we can't hear Per. And if I understood,
can you hear me now?
If I look at Per, it looks like Per, we will call you.
Hear me now?
Oh, thank you.
Can you hear me?
Are saying they can hear him. Oh, okay. Yeah, so very good. Okay.
Can you hear me?
So they're putting on the sound here, so I can hear you too. So Per,
okay.
Sorry about this. Can you come in and tell us about how you're celebrating Constitution Day today? Very nice to see you. Sorry about that.
So thank you, Petra. I'm very happy to be here with you. I mean, I can't be with you in the studio, but at least I can be with you online, which we've become used to over the last year and a half. So, well, you know, the short answer to your question is really I'm not celebrating anything. I'm working along on a normal Monday, but since that's because I'm here in Geneva and I wouldn't be able to travel to Norway. And if I would travel to Norway, I would have been in big celebrations with friends and family, my kids, my grandchild, that we'll be parading in the streets. And this is the most important day for Norwegians in a year. This is when we celebrate our constitution, and it's considered the Children's Day in Norway. So it's devoted to children, and we celebrate with the children. Now, since I'm here in Geneva, I'm more focused on other things. And what I find very interesting right now is that in June, next month, Geneva is going to have a referendum on synthetic pesticides. And there's a big movement against using pesticides, synthetic pesticides. And as everything in almost everything in Switzerland, you go to a referendum, and in this case, the government is actually against this ban on pesticides. But in Switzerland, the people get to vote, so we'll see what they vote next month. That's exciting.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, Per. There was a little bit of a delay, so I've just heard your response. I think that at the foundation we're also very concerned about how agricultural food systems are actually developing, and we really welcome the realization that we really need to change these food systems into systems that are good for people and planet. And also, thank you, Per, for being here today. We know it's a big day for you, but you've made the time to be here. I wanted to ask you another question. The overall ambition of IKEA and the IKEA Foundation is to become people and planet positive and inspire and enable the many people to live a better everyday life within the planetary boundaries of the planet. Can I ask you, Per, to share a bit more of your story, of your journey? How have you seen the needle move much more from a people focus to a people and planet focus since you started your career at the IKEA Foundation? Can you share some of your insights?
Sure. It's been a long 12 years, really. And when you think about it, the science hasn't really changed much in the last 20 years when it comes to climate change. I think the only thing that's different is that we know that it's more urgent than ever before, and we know more about the enormous impact of just 1/10 of degrees. So, but when I think about it, actually, back in 1856, which is 100 years since before I was born, the scientist Eunice Newton Foote made some experiments, and she made some experiments when she demonstrated that changes in CO2 in the atmosphere could affect the temperature on Earth. That's 165 years ago, and here we are today. Think about it. Clearly, there's much more sense of urgency today because it's all happening around us. The 100-year flood is happening every year. The 100-year storm is happening every year. So people see it and feel it and read it in the media. But when we started back in 2009 at the IKEA Foundation, there was little focus in the media. We focused on children's future, children's life in the global south, but we didn't focus on the planet. And if you looked at businesses, for example, a lot of businesses were really still very suspicious. And I think we had an exception there in the IKEA business because they started a very early focus on environment, focus on the impact the business in its entire value chain had on nature, on the world, on people, and they started looking at how they can make a difference in any part of their business. And that was really foresighted, and taking the lead like that is just very inspiring to us as a foundation, of course. So back in 2015, we made our first climate investments. We were encouraged by a very smart person to look at how we could do something to improve the outcome of the Paris negotiations in 2015. So what we did was to bring together the 7 largest climate NGOs focused on business, and had them work together towards a better outcome for Paris. And that created something we later have called the Women Business Coalition, which is particularly focused on looking at how business can make an impact in the climate situation we find ourselves today. So only a year after that, I think it was just before or after Paris, we made a commitment together with the business, together with IKEA, and we said we're going to invest 1 billion euros in climate-related initiatives. And for the business, that was investment in renewable energy. And for us as a foundation, the major focus was on looking at how we can help people living in vulnerable communities to adapt to the impact that climate change has put on them. So if you fast forward to today, you can see that the race to net zero is quickly becoming the norm. It's on everyone's lips, and even major companies, investors, and central banks are starting to take this very seriously, starting to take the risks of climate change and the impact it will have on their business, their investments very seriously. And I think also here, IKEA is a good example. And they committed to become energy neutral. They became energy neutral by 2020 last year. They produce more renewable energy than they use across the whole world in their business. They committed to become climate positive by 2030. 2030, that's only 9 years, but we are in a very urgent mode here. So they have a strong focus on circular economy, sustainable forestry, and I could go on. So today, I think ESG is on everyone's agenda, but I'm not sure if everyone is as genuine about it. It's a lot of greenwashing going out there, and we're trying to see how we can take that apart and encourage businesses to be better at not only making commitments, but actually delivering on their commitments. So by now, for example, the Women Business Coalition has more than 1,700 global companies as members who have all made very bold commitments to curbing greenhouse gases in their business and across their value chain. So reaching net zero will really require unprecedented collaboration. We have to get business and government and community-based organizations, NGOs, everyone needs to do their part really. And the public needs to put pressure on their politicians to act. So that's where we are today. It's been a long development since 2009.
For us at the Livelihoods portfolio, it's also important to see how we can help people adapt to climate change, as this is an important part of their livelihoods, or it's really affecting their livelihoods. So the IKEA Foundation also has a very big focus on reducing these greenhouse gas emissions. And last month, you had an additional 1 billion euros announcement to make for the foundation. And at the foundation, we are all super excited about that and really energized about it. But why is this such a big focus for the foundation? And what kind of projects are you looking at?
It's very exciting, absolutely. And when you think about it, we are the first generation to experience the impacts of climate change, and we're the last one that can do something about it. And I think that's a scary thought, and that puts a lot of responsibility on our shoulders. So our board is extremely concerned about the speed with which we cut greenhouse gas emissions. They don't think it goes fast enough. We need to go faster, and the race is on. So that's why they came up with this additional commitment for short-term investments, because they know that 1 ton of carbon cut today is much more important than 1 ton of carbon cut in 5 years. So we have to look at the short-term opportunities, and that's why we stepped up this ambition on behalf of the board. It's really driven by the board, and the board wants us to try to find ways to invest another €1 billion in the next 5 years to curb greenhouse gas emissions. And that comes, by the way, in addition to the 500 million we have already committed in the next 5 years towards climate action and climate investments. So we will support renewable energy initiatives which can deliver greenhouse gas reductions fast and efficiently. That's the #1 focus. And we know that there's a lot of capital available in the Western world, in developed countries, to drive renewable energy. And, IKEA Business has also stepped up their investments to 6.5 billion in renewable energy investments, because the opportunities are there, the money is there, the capital is there. It's different when it comes to the global south, and our focus is on the global south. So we aim to unlock try to unlock further funding by helping to de-risk investments, and by de-risking investments we can accelerate the transition to renewable energy in those parts of the world. So we hope that this can drive and scale really sustainable models in that part of the world. And we also will look at options beyond renewable energy initiatives to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Food and land use, for example, is a very interesting area, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, thanks. Sorry, Per, there was a bit of a delay here, but it's indeed a very exciting announcement. And such an amount is both a great opportunity, but it's also a big responsibility. So we have to be really careful and working hard to make sure that we be spending that in the most effective way. We're here today together with all our partners from the Agricultural Livelihoods portfolio. Can you tell us also a little bit on how people and planet positive agriculture features within the wider strategy of the IKEA Foundation?
Well, of course, climate change threatens global food production big time, and it's really scary to see the development, but it's also very exciting to see the opportunities when you dive into this. And I've learned so much from you and your colleagues about what regenerative agriculture can do for people and do for the planet. But today it's causing 70% of the biodiversity loss on land, and we know that smallholder farmers in India and Africa are not the ones to blame, but they're not causing this, but they are the ones really badly or are worst impacted by this. That's a fact. So we need to really find ways to transform the food system and protect the valuable ecosystems at the same time. And we know that smallholder farming is often characterized by drudgery and poverty. And when I travel around Sub-Saharan Africa and India, and I speak to young people, I talk to them about their goals and ambitions in life. Nobody ever says that they want to be farmers. They don't aspire to work in agriculture for the very reason I just mentioned. So I think we need to make that interesting to young people, and we are funding programs and others are funding programs to actually make agriculture more interesting to young people, because we need them to produce food in the future, obviously, especially in a world that's growing so quickly in terms of population. And in doing that, we need to find ways to increase the yields and therefore increase the income, so it's more attractive for these young people to stay in agriculture. And we need to do that in a way that we can also at the same time protect the soil and protect the biodiversity in land and forest. And it's a very interesting link actually to the work we do in renewable energy at IKEA Foundation as well, improving the productivity of smallholder farmers and people in rural areas by increasing not only the access to energy, but also access to energy efficient tools that can make their life and their work easier. So there's an interesting link there. But this transformation we have to go through is massive and it's urgent, and it really requires the efforts of everyone. And we really, I think we find ourselves at a crossroads. We can either continue the way we do today, we can continue to exhaust the natural resources as we just expand and grow and consume more and more. Or we can say, let's look at this in a different way. Let's try to reimagine the way we use land and the way we source food. We can choose to make smallholder farmers part of a new and regenerative, circular and an inclusive system, and by doing that, bolster their potential for a better future. So in a way, it's challenging, but I'm very optimistic because there's so much happening in research and innovation. I just read about recently this effort to create perennial staple food crops, for example, that avoid tillage and therefore is good for the climate. You can harvest from the same perennial bushes over 4 to 6 years. They get deep root systems, they become more resilient, and by farming like that, you also use less diesel for tractors. So it's just about rallying around a systems change and driving systems change to be able to meet the goal for feeding people, at the same time the goal to protect the biodiversity on the earth.
Yeah. Yeah. So what I also gather from your response is that, as we are moving along, we have to act, we have to work together, we have to start changing the system. But it also goes together with learning, because we learn new things every day almost. This is also an event where we are stimulating that learning, and we're celebrating learning as well. Can you say some special words about the meaning of learning for the IKEA Foundation?
Well, as you said in your introduction, we know a lot about what needs to be changed, but making it happen is a big challenge. And we need to find the right and the most effective solutions. And the way we do that is, of course, to drive different projects, learn, build evidence, share evidence, and scale. So, I mean, we don't claim to have all the answers. We can only find them if we pool our collective knowledge and do those experiments, and we make those mistakes, and we fail, and then we learn, and we know what's working, what's not working, and embracing failure is okay if it's linked to learning. That's also what our founder Ingvar Kamprad was so vocal about when he lived. Failure is great. That's how you learn the best. So through this event, I think we can learn from experiences. We can share best practices. We can also discuss what didn't work, discuss the mistakes we made, the failures, and learn from them instead of trying to hide them because it's embarrassing to make mistakes. Nobody would drive innovation without making mistakes, and we should all share that, so we don't need to make the mistake several times. But if we can use this event to spark new collaborations, if we can avoid the typical working in the silos, but actually working together, share our thinking, share our best practices, and that's going to make all of us stronger, and we can probably get faster to the results that we want to achieve, whether it's about increasing the food production or restoring landscapes and the way we use the soil. It's the start of a process. I will really encourage everyone to actively participate in this. I salute you, Petra, and your team for putting this together and bringing all of our partners together. Fortunately, I know a number of your partners already. I've spent time with them. They're fantastic organizations. It's so exciting to go and see the work they do in the field. And I can't wait for this COVID thing to go away so that we can actually go back to the field and experience the progress that we're making together with our partners. So this is continued learning, and continued learning is an IKEA mantra. And again, as our dear founder always used to say, the most things remains undone, so it's a glorious future. So let's think about this as a glorious future.
So much remains to be done still. When you spoke about learning, so that we have to learn from each other, but also really from failures, that is actually something that we have also built into this program. On day 3 of this program, we have a special guest actually discussing and being open about some of the failures that they had. And we hope that that also shows that we want to be open about the fact that failures are actually also an option, because they happen, as long as we learn from them. So that's really great to see. I have a final question for you, because I think that will be on many partners' minds. But since the fact that agriculture is one of the largest emitters of greenhouse gas emissions, will you also be looking now under the new commitment, looking at carbon sequestration through agriculture? I'm just asking it because I think many of us are asking themselves this question.
Well, thanks for the question. It's a great question. Actually, I want to expand the answer to basically say we don't know what is the most effective way to reduce greenhouse gas emissions quickly at scale. So we're trying to pick the brains of some of the smartest people in the world when it comes to this specific topic and try to devise a strategy that can give us the most bang for the buck, as we say. And that could include anything that has to do with food and land use, any type of technology that takes out carbon, any type of natural solutions that we know a lot about. I don't know the answer to this. I think we would try to spend enough time to responsibly figure out what is it that we can engage in, and then look for the programs that we can invest in order to achieve a reduction in greenhouse gases quickly. That's the best I can say right now.
Important developments for you as well as for the foundation, and we know that any decisions will have to be taken very carefully. So thank you so much for your insights and giving your time, Per. We know that you will be also participating and listening in throughout the course of the event, so we'll see you back in some of the sessions in the coming days. For now, I'd like to wish you a very happy Constitution Day.
Thank you very much, Petra, and thanks for having me, and thanks to everyone who is with us today and the next days to share their time and their ideas and help us become an even better foundation than what we are today.
And see you again in the next sessions, and we'll move now to the next session in the event. Okay, so in the fire chats that we have later today, we can answer some of the questions that you may have gotten now you've listened to Per, that you want to know more about. So please hold on to these questions, and in the fireside chat sessions, you'll have an opportunity to be asking these. We will now go into 10 minutes of speed dating. This is a random speed dating exercise. So we have randomly made appointments where you can briefly meet any out of the partners. So what we like you to do is introduce yourself, ask questions, get to know each other. If you like to connect more with these persons that you meet, you can push the connect button and meet at another time as well. After this session, you will see two hands, which is called networking, on the left side of the screen. That is where you will find the speed dating area, so click that button. We want to wish you a joyful meeting session. After the speed dating, we will continue with an introduction to the agricultural livelihoods strategy. So 10 minutes of speed dating now. See you later. Thank you. Goodbye. Okay, hello. Welcome back. 10 minutes go by really quickly. I hope that you really had good conversations, that you met each other, that you had some inspiring exchanges, and that you are also able to connect afterwards if you think that you want to know more. I wanted to spend a few moments now to introduce to you the Agricultural Livelihoods portfolio. This is not new to most of you, but maybe not to everybody. It's as clear as to everybody. So let's go into a short presentation. So if we look at what an impact industrial agriculture has had in soils, biodiversity and ecosystems, which are so fundamental for a healthy and productive food systems, then we have to rethink how we design agri-food systems to feed the many people. So what is our vision? We want to move away from linear and extractive processes and help turn agri-food systems into inclusive, regenerative, and circular systems that benefit both people and planet. And we want to develop food and agricultural systems that have shorter, more local value chains that are diversified and provide a larger variety and more nutritious food, use locally produced inputs, and restore land and generate soils and ecosystems. And also, we want to improve the biodiversity on the land. We believe that this makes smallholder farmers less dependent and vulnerable, and in fact, more resilient. But we also know that regenerative agriculture is not a quick fix. Anyone who has, for instance, Googled regenerative agriculture has found that there are many ways to describe this, and that there are many elements to this. We see regenerative agriculture as a set of practices that restore and maintain soil health, biodiversity, and other ecosystem functions. We see this going hand in hand with circular principles, helping to decrease loss and waste and keep valuable nutrients and resources in the loop. We support agri-enterprise initiatives that design out loss and waste from food value chains, transform waste into valuable products and inputs, and recycle material to keep important nutrients and minerals in the loop. Such innovative enterprises can offer new revenue streams in servicing and processing and create new job opportunities. So, how do we aim to achieve this? Well, first of all, seeing is believing. So, we are actually prototyping, which means that we are trying to demonstrate models together with you as partners, which show the benefits of people and planet. We look at how can we show models on the ground that show how we can optimize the benefits for people as well as for the planet. And we continue to learn and build the evidence through testing of people and planet positive business models based on inclusion and regenerative or circular principles to generate a critical mass of practical application. We also know a lot about the negative impacts of agri-food systems, but it has not moved us yet to change to a system with more positive outcomes for both the many people and the planet. When you measure the progress and the impact, you can use it to influence strategies. However, in the business of inclusive, regenerative, and circular systems, there are a lot of indicators as well as variables. So understanding what we need to measure and how to measure are also important. That's why we're working with research institutions to not just measure indicators from our programs, but also apply action research in the form of living labs, field experimentation to study decision-making processes with smallholder farmers in the light of policy changes, and long-term visioning for agri-food systems of the future. The learning and evidence will be used to inform the portfolio's theory of change and to inform the wider partner base, but more importantly, use as evidence in influencing tactics to drive more public and private investments into these models, as well as policy advocacy programs. Investments in agricultural business and projects, however, tend to look at economic returns mostly, without considering whether the practices applied leads to degradation of land and ecosystems. Most banks, insurance companies, and institutional investors have invested large stakes in companies and projects that are built on linear and extractive business models that endanger vulnerable ecosystems. We are supporting the development, the application and adoption of risk lenses and tools which take the ecological consequences into account into these investment risk scenarios, but also support initiatives that move companies to apply more regenerative and circular approaches into their business models, or move policymakers to shift public spending for agriculture towards pro-people and planet-positive schemes. And finally, and I think this is one of the most important parts of our strategy, is the movement building and the acceleration of the movements. We think that you are part of these movements as well, and your work contributes to really push the needle on why it's important to move agri-food systems to become inclusive, regenerative, and circular. That's also why we're together today in this Better Together event, to actually kickstart this movement building and acceleration. We couldn't have set up this strategy without a team that is helping me to further develop and operationalize. So I'd like to introduce you to our program managers, the core team of the work that we do. In the studio, we have today with us the program managers, Annelies, Elton, and Nico. Can I ask you to introduce yourselves? So Annelies is not with us in the studio today, but she is joining us from her home. So Annelies, can you please introduce yourself?
Yes, hi. Hello, everybody. It's so nice to see you, or to be with you at least today. Very nice to be with so many that I already know, and to be able to meet so many new people as well. My name is Annelies Withoffs. I'm a program manager at the Agricultural Livelihoods portfolio team, and I've been with the foundation for over 6 years now. I studied anthropology and development sociology with a specialization in environment and development, and I've always worked in that area, something that has to do with environment and with development. I started off in renewable energy, then moved to green entrepreneurship, and then spent the time before I came to the foundation working on integrated water resource management. So 6.5 years ago, I joined the foundation and they threw me in the deep. So at first I was working with the humanitarian portfolio. We support a lot of work in the refugee area as well. And then when we moved to our new strategy back in 2018, Petra and I joined hands to set up the Agricultural Livelihoods portfolio strategy. And I'm super happy to see where we've come from then, doubling our team. So with Nico and Elton on board, and many others behind the scene that you don't see now. But also having all these partners here. I think there were 85 people, if I see it well, here. So it goes to show how many partners we've been able to onboard and how we've been able to grow the movement and our family, let's say, since that we've started 2.5 years ago, more or less. So super excited to be here these days, and eager to get to know those that I don't know yet and to meet those that I know already later this week.
Thank you, Annelies. It's indeed exciting, and it's also exciting to know that we have come quite a long way since we started this. And like you said, we have also added some really strong agricultural expertise to our team. So I'd like to move now to Elton. Elton, can you please introduce yourself?
Nice. Hello, everyone. Like my colleague Annelies, I'm super excited to be here. My name is Elton Mujgajivi, Program Manager at IKEA Foundation in the Agricultural Livelihoods team. I'm 2 years in IKEA Foundation now. It has been an incredible journey. I come from Zimbabwe, born and bred at a smallholder farm in Zimbabwe. And so, yeah, quite an experience at the smallholder farm. And I decided to study agriculture and later on started off at a farm, a commercial farm, before joining the non-profit sector. I've had the opportunity to work with many organizations across Africa, in East, Southern Africa, and West Africa, in areas to do with resilience building, to do with market systems development, and bringing together the agricultural part and the natural resources part. And my greatest passion in my work is really to work with our partners to design and prototype regenerative and circular approaches that are not only planet positive, but are also profitable. And to ensure that in the work we do and the discussions on food systems, the voice of smallholders is really taken up. And I'd say this is a really incredible moment to be part of the IKEA Foundation. I look forward to interacting with our partners throughout the week.
Yes. Thank you, Elton. It's also great to have you on the team because you bring a wealth of experience and expertise to the team. I want to move now also to Nico, who also brings a wealth of agricultural knowledge, expertise, and experience to the team. But can you tell a little bit more about yourself, Nico?
Yeah, thanks, Petra. And hello, everyone, also from my side. My name is Nico Jansen. I joined the foundation a bit more than 2 years ago now. And that's the next stage in my journey. You know, I studied tropical agriculture in Wageningen University. And after my graduation, I went overseas for about 20 years into West Africa, to Southeast Asia, to East Africa, where I've always had the pleasure and the luck to work on social inclusion, on economic development, on smallholder farming, always with sustainability in the back of my mind. And 5 years ago, we came back to the Netherlands as a family because we thought it would be nice to be here as well. And then this opportunity came along to join the IKEA Foundation and to really think differently about combining people and planet. So not only working on environment or not only working on livelihoods, but really seeing how can we put that together in the mix? How can we combine that to give positive outcomes, positive impacts at both sides of the equation, and not see, in a sense, developing countries make the same mistakes as we have made here in Europe or Northern America, where we have to fix a lot now. Yeah. How can we avoid that, basically, in that? And that's what really excites me, to have dialogues with partners about that and to really work together with the partners, as you say, on the prototyping, but also to take that message further then into how countries, how systems can make choices for their future and a positive future.
Yes, exactly. And I think what you also brought out in your comments is how important partners are. We can have a vision of what we want to achieve, but it's actually our partners that we search for and that we find are having common interests, values, and goals that are all working towards that goal. And they are the ones doing that. So we are super excited to have you here, to get to know you better, to get us better. And so in the next session, we'll go to the fireside chat sessions. You will have an opportunity to talk to each other. The sessions will be moderated by our program managers, so you can also ask them questions. And there you can ask all the questions that you have, not only to us, but maybe also to other partners in these sessions. First, we have a short break though. During the break, you can go and stretch your legs or relax a bit with our on-demand yoga sessions. You can find this in the expo area. Tomorrow we will have a live yoga session. And in these fireside sessions, again, you'll have the opportunity to ask anything you want. After listening to me, to Per, and to the program managers, you may have quite a lot of questions. I believe the break is 10 minutes. So we'll see you back in 10 minutes. Goodbye.
but it's everywhere, even in a kiss. So why do you think I don't know when you're lying? Know when you're trying to hide how you feel from me. You hate it when I stare. You say you can't resist. So why do you keep your secrets alive? You need to let them die. Confess all your sins to me. My eyes are like a lie machine. I know you try to hide from me. I don't know why you lie to me. I wish you would confide in me. I tried. My eyes are like a lie machine. I know you try to hide from me. I don't know why you lie to me. I think you need to let go of your pride. You be the one who always hurts my feelings. I don't want to be with you if you keep on deceiving me with all these things you say. You know I don't believe them. Every time I let you in, you leave me bruised and bleeding. If you really love me, girl, then look into my eyes. Tell me all the things you told me that were really lies. You keep looking to the left and checking on your phone, but you think that says to me you don't really care for me. You're the only one to make it right. I don't really know what else to say. Now you really want to make it right. I don't wanna make a huge mistake. My eyes are like a time machine. I know you try to hide from me. I don't know why you lie to me. I wish you would confide in me. I tried. My eyes are like a time machine. I know you try to hide from me. I don't know why you lie to me. I think you need to let go of your pride. My eyes are like a time machine. I know you try to hide from me. I don't know why you lie to me. I wish you would confide in me. I tried. My eyes are like a time machine. I know you try to hide from me. I don't know why you lie to me. I think you need to let go of your pride.
need you come with me. Something is telling me that you feel the way I do. I want you close to me. My heart is telling me I hate the fact that I love you. I feel blue. And you know I love with you. I always think about you, baby. I've been going crazy cause I'm missing you. Can't you see we were meant to be, baby? I wanna be with you, baby. Oh, baby, can't you see? I need you now. Can't you see we were meant to be, baby? I wanna be with you, baby. Oh, baby, can't you see? I need you now. I need you come with me. Something is telling me that you feel the way I do. I want you close to me. My heart is telling me I hate the fact that I love you. I feel good. And you know I love with you. I always think about you, baby. I've been going crazy cause I'm missing you. Can't you see we were meant to be, baby? I wanna be with you, baby. Oh, baby, can't you see? I need you now. Can't you see we were meant to be, baby? I wanna be with you, baby. Oh, baby, can't you see? I need you now. Can't you see we were meant to be, baby? I wanna be with you, baby. Oh, baby, can't you see? I need you now. Can't you see we were meant to be, baby? I wanna be with you, baby. Oh, baby, can't you see? I need you now.
Take me for a ride. I know you've been waiting. Let's drive to the West Coast, Hollywood and LA. Feel love on the way. There's no time for waiting. I know where to go. I know. Down the West Coast, through New Mexico, Nevada. Oh, down the West Coast, Colorado, California. Ooh, down the West Coast, yeah. Through New Mexico, Nevada. Oh, down the West Coast. I know you've been waiting. Let's drive to the West Coast. Hollywood and LA. Oh, down the West Coast, through
God is everywhere, even in a kiss. So why do you think I don't know when you're lying? Know when you're trying to hide how you feel from me. You hate it when I stare. You say you can't resist. So why do you keep your secrets alive? You need to let them die. Confess all your sins to me. My eyes are like a lie machine. I know you try to hide from me. I don't know why you lie to me. I wish you would confide in me. I tried. My eyes are like a lie machine. I know you try to hide from me. I don't know why you lie to me. I think you need to let go of your pride. You be the one who always hurts my feelings. I don't want to be with you if you keep on deceiving me with all these things you say. You know I don't believe them. Every time I let you in, you leave me bruised and bleeding. If you really love me, girl, then look into my eyes. Tell me all the things you told me that were really lies. You keep looking to the left and checking on your phone, but you think that says to me you don't really care for me. You're the only one to make it right. I don't really know what else to say. Now you really want to make it right. I don't wanna make a huge mistake. My eyes are like a lie machine. I know you try to hide from me. I don't know why you lie to me. I wish you would confide in me. I tried. My eyes are like a lie machine. I know you try to hide from me. I don't know why you lie to me. I think you need to let go of your pride. My eyes are like a lie machine. I know you try to hide from me. I don't know why you lie to me. I wish you would confide in me. I tried. My eyes are like a lie machine. I know you try to hide from me. I don't know why you lie to me. I think you need to let go of your pride.
do. I want you close to me. My heart is
Hey, welcome back to the IKEA Foundation studio. You've all been in fireside chat sessions today, and I haven't participated myself, but I have been walking along all of them, listening in, and I've heard some really good conversations, very animated conversations. But I think we better ask the program managers who have been moderating these sessions to tell more about what you have heard in the sessions. Nico, to start with you, can you tell a little bit more about what were the conversations about? What did you hear? What stood out for you? Or what was a recurring theme?
Yeah, thank you, Petra. I think we had a very lively discussion, not even around one theme, but a number of questions that came up. But it started with a very good debate on finding the balance between, in a way, growing food for a growing population, and at the same time stopping, in a sense, degradation that is happening. Yeah? So how can we find a way out of this spiral going downwards and turn it back up again into an inspiration going upwards and an opportunity going upwards? And everybody was contributing their ideas and their experiences in it. So yeah, the 45 minutes of the fireside chat, I think, could have gone on for days. And there was a clear request also from quite a few of the participants to please continue this learning journey that we do. So and I think that's some food for thought for us after this as well. Is how can we bring the partner group in that movement building together on a regular basis for joint learning.
Food for thought indeed. That's really nice to hear. I think we've some ground to cover still. Elton, what was the feeling in your group, and what did you discuss?
Wow. First of all, the mood was really lighted up, lots of energy. And we had a good diversity of partners working on from various angles on towards food systems transformation. That really made me think of how that reflects the complexity of food systems and the different angles that we need to address it. So others are working from policy, others are working at prototyping different approaches on the ground, and yet others are working on research to inform the direction of the change for food systems. The main question that actually carried a large part of the discussion was how do we support enterprises first to access capital, because that's the fuel that helps them to grow and play a bigger part in food system, and also how can we help them to organize themselves to push for more favorable policies that advance agroecology, and regenerative enterprises within food systems. So that was the major area of discussion, and which raised a lot of debate. Key points really that came out were really staying grounded in local realities. And there is fertile ground. These were some of the sentiments. There is fertile grounds because agro enterprises are springing up everywhere. What they need are support through accelerators, through better organization to be able to flourish. So that was really interesting. And we also there were quite a lot of questions across partners on the burning desire to share examples of business cases in terms of enterprises that are doing regenerative and circular models. So that is really interesting, and there were already contacts and quite a number of sharing through the chats on information that will be shared outside the meeting. So yeah, that a start has been made, and that was really exciting.
That's really nice to hear. And the fact that these agro enterprises are sometimes already struggling to get access to finance, etc. But if you look at how can we really support regenerative and circular agribusinesses, that maybe extra effort will be required for that. So I understand how that is a challenge, but one that we are really happy to take on together with these partners. Yeah. And it's great to see that the networking and connections are being sparked. And actually, after these meetings, the networking part will be open, so you can still continue to connect on Hopin. So please do so. But before we go there, we still have Annelies, who has also been moderating a session. So Annelies, can you tell a bit about your session?
Yeah, sure. It was a really nice session. I enjoyed seeing so many faces I hadn't met before and seeing all the other faces that I do know. So it was really nice to connect everybody. And within the first minute, a first connection was made. I want to talk to you later. So that was really good. Our conversation was really about better together. Everything was about better together. So we spoke a little bit about the importance of good quality research, good quality learning, and the importance of sharing ways of monitoring the work and monitoring the progress, capturing the learnings and building the evidence. I think there was some discussion also going on about how difficult it is to really get out of your own bubble and truly innovate, truly change behavior and change mindsets that make a regenerative world possible. And it is indeed a challenge that we are facing, all of us, I think. But we need to remain massively optimistic, and we need to do our work thoroughly by indeed building that evidence. We also talked about how to move from prototyping to scale, not being stuck in smaller projects, but also not being stuck in large projects either. So where can we find that balance of still being able to innovate, create, and build, and then move bigger? Bringing everybody together will definitely help on that. We also spoke a little bit about the challenge of having different organizations in the same area that are serving a population or helping a certain system to change. And then there's all these different organizations funded by IKEA Foundation and others that come with different approaches, and how to avoid competition or double work or even work that goes against one another. So I think with this partner learning event, we should call it a partner synergy event. We may make a first step to that. So we talked a lot about working together and how we can use the working together, being better together to build better evidence, to come to scale quicker, because we need all these different angles. We also spoke about working together, not only between the partners, but also for foundations and donors to work together. So I think that's a lesson for us, or a hint to us as a foundation to seek more collaboration with other donors and make sure that we have joint approaches and collectively mobilize our resources for our partners and others out there. And then finally, I forgot the final point, but it was an important one. It's the one that I didn't write down. But it was a very lovely conversation in any case. And as Nico said, short, 45 minutes flew by. We didn't even get to the point of asking questions about one another's organizations and work. But I'm sure that the people that were in the team meeting will pick that up after this session. So yeah, inspiring.
Nice, nice. And I think, we call it a partner learning event, but it's actually also learning to us. So it's really across. It's not just between partners. It's really
Yeah.
also for us to learn from, to share, and it's great to see that. So it's great to see that we have been preparing that common ground already together, and that there is a great appetite to do more together, to learn from each other. So wonderful to see this. We're getting slowly to the end of the program, so I want to call in our visualizer now, Michiel or Michael, who has been participating and listening into he has not been participating, he's been listening in to the sessions, and he is summarizing what he has heard in his signature drawings. So Michiel, can you tell us a little bit about what you heard today and how did you translate it into your signature drawings?
Of course, maybe it would be the best to show the drawings as I talk, or is it possible? Because I heard a lot of things, but
Yes, here we are.
So this is one about the beginning of the day, building a strong movement, about inclusiveness, but also about building a circular system. The more people, the merrier. You see a lot of people there standing on the earth, and as the movement goes circular, there are more people involved. That was the idea behind this one.
Can we have a bigger one as well? So I've asked if we could have a bigger screen so we can see the drawing more clearly.
Yes, my head is not that interesting.
It's also interesting, but apparently that's not possible. So let's just go ahead to the next.
This one is about what Per Heggenes said at the beginning of the afternoon about the meaning of learning, that we have to embrace failure as long as it's connected to learning. So that was this one. This one is a bit about circularity and regenerative cultures. We don't have to drain the earth, but we want to make it a circular system that we, I think the drawing speaks for itself. This one was also about regenerative cultures, that it's not a good idea to cultivate one sort of crop, but have a lot of different sort of crops. It's very good for the biodiversity, and that way we won't exhaust the soil. Well, this one was sort of a recap of the total day, so there's a lot of information on this one. I won't go through all the details, but it starts with Per at the top, addressing certain issues, saying that there's a bigger sense of urgency. Yeah, this is a bit better. We're going to do it together with the business, and we want to have less greenhouse gases. And we had a little moment of speed dating, 10 minutes. Right before the break, there was the strategy explained. You can hardly read it, but it's prototyping, research, finance, and policy, and building a movement. After that, we went in the direction of the sessions, and there came a lot of answers out of the sessions that you can see on the right side at the lower top. So maybe it would be good to send this drawing that you can that the people can see it for themselves and read all the details.
Yeah, thank you, Michael. I think it's amazing that you have been able to do this while we were having the sessions. I think they're spot on. They're really nice, and we'll make sure that we'll share them with all participants. I love them. I already love the preparing the common ground. I need some time to go through them because they're so rich in what it says. I particularly like the good crop, bad crop. I really like how you have sort of spun in all these tongue-in-cheek remarks in there.
Okay.
Thank you for doing so. And see
You're
you again later.
Okay.
Yes, thanks. Okay, so I thought they were great. I'm going to hang them up. I have to study them because I saw some things in there that I still have to process, but I really love them. So before we go into the final sessions, we are asking you for a word of the day. Yes. So we've seen what Michael has been making out of the day, but we want to ask you, just as a final small fun exercise, to hear from you what you thought of the day. And if you can capture that in one word, that would be really appreciated. We use Mentimeter for that. So if you can please take out your smartphone, go to the site menti.com and fill in the number that you see on the screen. You will see there a space to fill in one word. And if you can all do so, then we can make a word cloud and see what came out of the day. If you can do that now, that would be great. And maybe we can see it on the screen. So as we are looking at that, it will take some time. So for the ones who've never done this before, take out your mobile phone, go to menti.com, and there you will find a place where you can plug in the number, the code, and that will lead you to the question. And as we are... Oh, yes, sorry. That is what we try to try to remember. So while we are asking all of you your one word, we're asking the people in the studio as well. Nico, what is your word of the day, if you had to mention just one?
Can I cheat?
And don't say inclusive, regenerative, and circular.
No, I think for me, what struck me is to find balance. Balance between context and generic, balance between principles and practices, balance between bottom-up and more national level. And to find that balance, maybe the most striking word there is what we need is dialogue. And I hope we made a good start today with that.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to continuing it for at least another 3 days. But of course, this is just the start.
Yeah. So some would say challenge, you say balance.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
But yeah, glass half full or glass half empty.
Yeah.
My glass is half full.
Yes. How do we balance all these different interests?
Yeah.
Really nice to hear. Elton?
Well, for me, having gone through the sessions especially, and hear what's happening in the plenary, the one word I will use is energy. It's been quite, I could feel the energy through the sessions, even though it's a virtual space, but I could feel the energy from one participant to another and in the discussions and dialogues. And that resonates also with the discussions we were having, for instance, where we realized that we really need to work together to energize each other and to really build that critical mass that has got the energy to shift things. So that will be my biggest word. Energy. Yeah.
So we have balance and we have energy.
Yeah.
Can we ask Annelies as well for her word of the day? Yes.
Hi. Yeah. So my word of the day would be a word that you've used in the beginning of this first day, and it would be, well, a word and an adjective. So massive optimism. For me, honestly, and I think many other people also struggle with that, I have been, due to this whole COVID crisis, but also how the world is evolving now, sometimes it's difficult to remain optimistic. And hearing all the news of what is happening, how climate change is accelerating, how the consequences are almost no longer beatable, it's becoming increasingly scary to live in this world and to to see what is coming at us. So there's the inequality, there's the biodiversity collapse, there's the climate change threats all over, the economic collapse, pandemic striking. Well, not necessarily a lot to be optimistic about, but then after a day like this, it does bring back to me this sense of urgency, but also the sense of massive optimism that we need and that I can still have. Listening to all these people in the sessions that I've been in, and listening in the networking and seeing all the good work that everybody is doing. So for me, that is bringing me the hope and the massive optimism. Thank you all for that.
Yeah, thank you, Annelies. And that's also a nice segue into announcing that tomorrow we have Sowing the Seeds of Inspiration, which is also a very inspirational and I hope optimistic session about how can we look at the future that we want to see, how we can dream that. And we'll also have an inspiring talk by Charla Halverson, who is the Global Sustainability and Health Manager at IKEA Food. When we talk about IKEA, you probably don't think about food immediately, but the fact that there is a restaurant in all these, I believe 400 plus stores around the world also makes IKEA quite a big restaurant chain. So we'll be listening to Charla's journey of IKEA Food tomorrow. And I think we can look at the word cloud to see what came out of that. It's a little bit far for me, but what I see popping up is learning, partnership, inspiring. We'll keep that up for the next days. I think we can keep on rolling it back. But for me, I'm very relieved to see these words pop up. I haven't seen everything, and I did. It's not that I on purpose did not pick out any critical ones, but I was just struck by the positive tone of this. So really nice to hear that. So thank you for your energetic participation. You already mentioned the word energy. Today was the session about preparing the common ground. Tomorrow we'll be sowing the seeds of inspiration. We will end here now. There is still a networking session is still open. So if you want to talk to each other, please continue to do so. And we'll see you back tomorrow. And don't forget, tomorrow you need to use another link. We had a separate one for day one, and then for the next 3 days, there is another one. So make sure you use the right link, and then we'll see you back. So goodbye. Thank you very much.
God is everywhere, even in a kiss. So why do you think I don't know when you're lying? Know when you're trying to hide how you feel from me. You hate it when I stare. You say you can't resist. So why do you keep your secrets alive? You need to let them die. Confess all your sins to me. My eyes are like a lie machine. I know you try to hide from me. I don't know why you lie to me. I wish you would confide in me. I tried. My eyes are like a lie lie machine. I know you try to hide from me. I don't know why you lie to me. I think you need to let go of your pride. You be the one who always hurts my feelings. I don't want to be with you if you keep on deceiving me with all these things you say. You know I don't believe them. Every time I let you in, you leave me bruised and bleeding. If you really love me, girl, then look into my eyes. Tell me all the things you told me that were really lies. You keep looking to the left and checking on your phone. What you think that says to me? You don't really care for me. You're the only one to make it right. I don't really know what else to say. Now you really want to make it right. I don't wanna make a huge mistake. My eyes are like a lie machine. I know you try to hide from me. I don't know why you lie to me. I wish you would confide in me. I tried. My eyes are like a lie machine. I know you try to hide from me. I don't know why you lie to me. I think you need to let go of your pride. My eyes are like a lie machine. I know you try to hide from me. I don't know why you lie to me. I wish you would confide in me. I tried. My eyes are like a lie machine. I know you try to hide from me. I don't know why you lie to me. I think you need to let go of your pride.
Can't you see? I need you to come with me. Something is telling me that you feel the way I do. I want you close to me. My heart is telling me I hate the fact that I love you. I feel blue, and you know I love you. I always think about you, baby. I've been going crazy 'cause I'm missing you. Can't you see? We were meant to be, baby. I wanna be with you, baby. Oh, baby, can't you see? I need you now. Can't you see? We were meant to be, baby. I wanna be with you, baby. Oh, baby, can't you see? I need you now. me. My heart is telling me I hate the fact that I love you. I feel good, and you know I love with you. I always think about you, baby. I've been going crazy 'cause I'm missing you. Can't you see we were meant to be, baby? I wanna be with you, baby. Oh, baby, can't you see? I need you now. Can't you see we were meant to be, baby? I wanna be with you, baby. Oh, baby, can't you see? I need you now. Can't you see we were meant to be, baby? I wanna be with you, baby. Oh, baby, can't you see? I need you now. Can't you see?